Ho,
Woo!
ho, ho, ho.
What up? You better slay.
I
Santa
know.
slay. Yes, I love it.
I
We had to
know.
take a
I'm
little
like,
pause because I didn't know we were showing up festive. I didn't get the memo. So I had to go ahead and go get my little. If we use this is Coco.
you
She's
guys can't see it. It's our
she's color
elf.
coordinated to our house.
I
We
like her skin color too.
you bet your ass that we got a dark Coco. Coco the elf, which I guess I better just introduce this. I'm already losing it. I'm already losing it. All right, guys. Well, welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Cycle, Redefining Weight Loss, Health, and Mom Life. And today we're going to take a little break from talking about wellness and we're going to talk about mom life and the holidays and traditions because I was a little bit in my feels. Because I told Dal, like, I've got one in the house still believing in Christmas magic. My oldest, who's 11, about to be 12, no longer is in the Christmas magic. She's still in the Christmas spirit, but she knows the jig is up, that mom is all the things.
Aww.
But she's such a good sport about it because she's like, Mom, so you were legit Coco the whole entire time. And again, Coco the elf, that's our elf on the shelf. I said, yes. And she's like, well, can I help you take over? And I was like, yes, say less.
Oh gosh, yes. Okay, let's get into all of this. And then it's so funny. When when we set up this podcast, we usually put a title on it. I don't know if you saw, Carmi. The title
Yes,
was
the
"Fucking Elf
fucking
on the
elf on the
Shelf."
shelf. And it's so funny because I made a reel years ago where it was
Yeah.
like, you've heard of Elf on the Shelf, but have you seen Unstable on a Table? And it was me on a table because the reason why we're really like gonna do this episode is because we understand that a lot of you moms are probably starting to stress and almost overthink the holidays, the Christmas magic, and kind of just lose sight of the magic and the fun of it. And we're here to validate you, to tell you, like, we understand it's hard, but you also got to flip the perspective on it. And this is just my opinion. I don't want to speak for you. I think I have a little bit more of a different perspective on it just because, like I said, I think I'm on my way out with the elf magic
Mm-hmm.
and the Santa magic. And it's a little bit, it's bittersweet because I will be the first one to say, fuck this hoe right here.
Yeah. Ho ho ho
But you know what? Here's my perspective on it. As much as y'all moms hate it, because I know y'all hate it. I hate it because you have to remember to move the dang thing. You have to like think about like what you're doing. It only lasts for so long
ho.
because before you can even blink, like you're like, oh fuck, it's over. It's so over. And it's not to say that like once my kids stop believing in Santa and the elf, like the magic's gonna be gone, but it's just a whole different transition. And I'm a little
Mhm.
sad about it.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, I understand that, but it's all and not but and it's also wrapped in though a lot of pressure,
Mm-hmm.
comparison,
Mm-hmm.
financial means too for moms,
Yeah.
right? And yeah,
Yeah.
can you make Elf on the Shelf like cheap? Yeah, of course, be
Mm-hmm.
resourceful, but really, some people don't have the time. Some moms are already like stretched thin. We know that,
Mm-hmm.
and so I see both sides of it. Like, yes, the Christmas magic, all of that. You want your kids to experience this, but it's also a construct of modern day, like consumerism,
Yes. And
right?
what
Like,
society tells you you should be doing.
yeah, like the people that have profited off this elf. Clearly, you guys can tell that I'm not a huge fan. But it's like just another thing to add to the list. And I guess we're going to get into a lot of things, and I'm going to branch off and talk all over the place here. So,
Yeah, no, that's fine.
right? Yeah, like it's like, what do first of all, do our kids need more, right? And I'm of the mindset like they don't, because they have won enough. And it's just adding on top of the responsibilities that we already have. And as a mom, cool if you're doing it out of, like you, Carmi, you love
Mhm.
it, you enjoy it, it brings joy to you, it brings joy to your kids when you see them. Does it bring joy to my kids too? Yes. But I'm just like, fuck. I can't do, before the kits even came around, like obviously before
Mhm.
it was just move the elf, right? Put them
Mhm.
wherever. But then
Yeah.
the kits, people started profiting off of like developing these kits, right? And I know
Mhm.
you use them and they
Oh, I absolutely
clearly
do.
help. It's awesome because they help and they're so cute. It is so fun seeing that. But for me, I'm more of the mindset of like, I just can't. And I don't want to be bothered. Like, I want to do less now and it probably comes from my just the way I've been, where it's
Mhm.
like that people pleasing mentality, always doing for others, and always going out of my way. And I'm tired and I am exhausted and I don't want to do any more than I have to. And I don't want to fall prey to the consumerism and
Mhm.
materialism of Christmas either.
Mhm.
And so that's a personal preference for me. And so, like, I remember one year I was like, fuck it. It was when I first started my journey. I think it might have been the second year. I
Mhm.
was like, fuck it. Why am I doing this? Like, I'm not going to do this year. I'm not moving this stupid elf, waking up in the middle of the night, tripping over God knows what, running downstairs at 2 a.m. to move him. And really, that's all I ever did. We just moved him from, this place to that place.
Yeah.
So it was never crazy creative or anything, but that brought them joy, right? Like, that's
Yes.
all they know. So I'm sure if I did one year, I did some sort of like kit, had these little elaborate scenes for them, that's what they would expect, right? And they would want
Yeah.
that too. But because I never did that, I just one year decided not to. And they asked me, like, oh, what happened? Why did Elf come that year? I'm like, oh, that's because remember we were going to be out of town. And so we took a vacation. Our elf's name is Elfie, by the way. We're really
Elfie.
creative over here. You know what? It'd be so funny to hear from our audience, like who else is Elvis named Elfie?
Most people pick like Snowball.
Or like my kids are just like, it's a pig, so piggy, or snake is snaky.
It's hey, whatever works. But that leads to a really good point. Okay.
Yeah.
You are confident enough to know like who you are and where you're at and how to meet yourself where you're at, right? So you're
Now.
okay with that. Now, well, yes,
Now.
now.
Yeah.
Now. So does it have to look a certain way for you? No.
Right.
It's at the end of the day, it's about creating those moments, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, are your kids going to miss out on the elaborate kits? No, because they don't know any better. But are they going to remember that memory of Elfie?
Yeah.
Yes. Because I saw a really important reel, and this will put it into perspective also. Like, there's this mom, and her daughter was sitting in the back of the car, and she was on the phone, and she was like, hey, such and such, name at least one Christmas present that you got last Christmas. And
Right.
she sat there for a good 30 seconds and she was like, see? She was like, okay. She was like, don't worry about it. She's like, name at least one vacation we took this past
Mm.
year. And she was like, bum, 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 naming them
Mm.
off. And she was like, see, this is what my point is. And again, it's going back to your consumerism is it's not necessarily about the presents under the Christmas tree. It's about the
No.
time and the memories. And that's what it is for me. And that's why, as much
Yes.
as I loathe the elf, I loathe her a little less now because I've
Yeah.
hacked it in a way that it works for me, i.e., the
Right.
kits, and no, they're not
Exactly.
elaborate. It's literally, and if y'all want to know where the kit is, message me, okay? Because I think she still has a couple. It's about $120, and it's $120 well spent for me. I'm not
Right.
telling you to do it, but for me. And it
Yes.
literally has each day set out, mapped out, super easy, super clean, doesn't create a crazy mess, takes about 2 minutes to put out, but I've hacked it for me. And this is the memories that I'm creating for my kids.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that you have to do it my way. You could do it Dal's way because I've done it both ways. But again, my kids were smaller. So like there was no necessity for me to be so over the top with it. It was literally
Mm-hmm.
like mover, mover, mover.
Mm-hmm.
And then my kids
Yeah.
too, like, mommy, how come some houses have two L's because they have two people? Oh, I was like, because Coco's busy. Coco and the rest of the elves are busy. There's the other kids that need elves. Like there's a shortage on elves.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Oh
then
my
so
God.
and then so 1 year, so you see, if we clip this, I Coco's holding one of her babies. So Coco 1 year came in a Barbie Corvette and had babies
I remember
magically.
seeing that. It was so cute. And I have to admit, like that stuff is really cute, right? Again, like Carmi said, you just do what works for you at the
Yes,
end of
if
the
you
day. Do
don't have the
you?
bandwidth for it, then cool. It's
Yes.
okay.
And I think this is key though. You said like if you don't have the bandwidth for it. I don't think I really believe that a lot of moms don't have the bandwidth for it, or at least whatever pressure that they're putting themselves kind of, whether it's like they feel like they need to do elaborate stuff, whatever the case may be, you're putting that on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, we live in a society where, and it's human to compare, right? We
Yeah.
compare and we look at social media and we're like, oh, well, we should be doing this too. Or your kid comes home, why don't I have an elf? Because everyone talks about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of go back to when I was a child and with Christmas, and we don't, okay, so my parents were immigrants, and now we're talking like, 30, oh gosh, 35 plus years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so we didn't celebrate Christmas, but we're also, living in this society now where we have to acclimate, and kind of live within between both cultures.
Yeah.
And my parents don't understand, like they didn't understand, oh, Christmas gifts, until we were much older.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would, this is going a little bit deeper. So we would go to school, and it was this thing where you would have to do show and tell after the Christmas break, and all the kids would tell everyone what they got for Christmas. Well, we didn't get anything for Christmas. And I remember having to lie,
Oh,
and well, yeah, because like make things up because
yeah. Just
we
quote
didn't
unquote
get
fit in.
yeah,
You
and
don't want to be the
eventually
weird kid.
exactly, right? And it was back then, it was a little bit discriminatory in the sense that it wasn't inclusive because Christmas break is specifically Christmas break. It is based on the religious holiday, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Christianity and all of that. And that's cool. And that's what it's always been and it's always going to be. But what we've adapted it to be now for us is to spend time with family, right? It's more about
Yeah.
spending time, having those memories. Everyone has a time off. The Christmas tree presents, that's more of a materialistic consumerism thing. So cool, and eventually my parents did get a smaller tree, a 4-foot tree, which was cool. Right. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and one year I remember them getting us some gifts, but we saw them pulling them out of their trunk. So, so much for Santa. But I was like, why didn't Santa bring us stuff? Right. So yeah, okay, there's
Because you're bad.
there's some shit there. And so going back to circling back to though, like so when your kid in this day and age, when your kid comes back and is like, well, why don't we have the elf? And why
Mm-hmm.
don't we? So it's kind of like, okay, fine, I'll do it because I want them to kind of enjoy that as well and share that experience with their friends. But
Mm-hmm.
for me, because I understand where I'm at and my bandwidth and the fact that I'll do what works for me and not compare. I don't give a shit what anyone else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is huge progress wise. Cool. I can do that. I can afford the elf. I want my kids to have that experience. They will, but it'll be on
In your
my
on your
terms.
terms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
But
Yeah.
that's what it
So,
needs to be about, though, because it
yeah.
doesn't need to be stressful. It's like the moms that take their kids to Disneyland and post and say the best time of their life, but then you see them off camera and they look so stressed out because they're trying to live up to this expectation that they had in their head. But
Yeah.
literally, your kids just want that experience with you at Disneyland, not
Yeah.
while with you like present and in the moment, not you trying
Yeah.
to create this facade on Instagram and then you're stressed out as
So
soon as the
fake.
camera turns off because it's not going as you intended.
Well, it's
Like
like
it just
vacations, right? Kids don't care about elaborate one vacation a year. No, they want mom and dad
no.
to be present on the
Hmm.
daily, not 1 week a year. Like, no,
Yeah.
that's, I mean, studies have, like, I haven't read the studies, but I've read, read what professionals say about that and what studies, say. And it's, yeah, that's what your kids are looking for is the
Hmm.
time you being present, whether it's 20 minutes a night, whatever, but just being
Yeah.
present in the moment and just immersing yourself in the daily experiences, not these one
Hmm.
off things. Is it
Yeah.
cool to create tradition? Yeah, of course. Like for most, we live out here, we have no family here. And so whenever we're here for years and years, like we just go to the keg every Christmas Eve. That's been our tradition and always will be.
Yeah.
Right? Cool. The keg is like a steakhouse, by the way, here. And so, and so my kids, now like when they talk about it, it's like, yeah, are we gonna go there? Are we gonna go? What we always do, mom? I'm like, yeah, yeah, we will. So,
Because it
I,
creates like this warm and fuzzy feeling for them. Just like
yeah,
for my kids, like the things that occur during Christmas time creates that warm and fuzzy feeling. They
yeah.
honestly kind of get more a rise out of like my reaction to things because
Mm,
if you guys didn't know, I'm a little on the dramatic side, so
mm.
couldn't guess that,
No,
right?
you
Mhm.
ain't, girl. Come on.
But like
No.
I'll be over there talking shit like, oh, what did Coco do now? I'm gonna toss her out the house. I'm gonna send her back to the North Pole. And they just giggle at that. Like that's what they love more. It's not even about like what Coco's doing. It's what's mom's reaction gonna be to Coco?
Yeah.
Did she make a mess? Where is
Because they
she?
want to
Like it's
protect her, right?
they
They love
do. They
her.
do.
I
Let me tell
know.
you how down my kids were for Coco. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so side note, there's this thing called the Polar Express in Arizona and also the North Pole Experience. You
In
can look it up
Arizona.
in Arizona. So we did it one winter. And you get on a train, and then the train takes you around the Grand Canyon, but you do it at
Mm.
night. And
Oh,
then they do
nice.
a whole thing of like the Polar Express. They're reading the story. There's actors acting it out and singing the songs during the whole entire train ride. Santa comes, gives you jingle bells.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. It's so cute. And we fortunately got to experience it while it was snowing. And
Oh,
so when I go back and I think about it, like my heart's getting so like just it's like
yeah.
bursting out of my chest because it's just such a core memory, right?
Right.
And the kids were like, "Mom, we can't leave Coco for a week." I said, "Yeah, we can." I said, "We sure shit can. We are."
She can fly
And they're like,
home.
yeah, and the whole time, but I had already planned it. I had planned that we were going to take Coco because they were going to see Santa. So Coco's got to come see Santa and check in with Santa and give him all the tea about the girls, right?
Mm-hmm,
Like that's
mm-hmm.
like the whole storyline that we have going
Yeah.
on in this
I
house.
love it.
And the kids love it. And then so we were going to leave for the trip and they were so bummed out. Coco can't come. And then the morning that we left, my one of my kids had one of those like vet doctor
The
toys.
kids,
And
yeah, the
so
little, yeah.
yeah. And so it had like a little toy carrier, like a pet carrier. So
Mm.
guess who was in the carrier? Coco.
Coco.
Because you can't
Oh,
touch the elf, right? So that was like,
right.
okay, so this is how Coco's traveling with us. Y'all got to leave her in there. So it was just, I have pictures too. I'll have to send them to you
Yeah,
where
send
they're
it to
at the
me.
Grand Canyon in the snow with Coco in her carrier with her head just peeped out.
That makes it so much
But
fun.
they just
Like,
loved it. They loved it because it
yeah.
was a core memory. And honestly, like they remember the Polar Express and they remember going to the North Pole experience. And that's like you get on a bus and it's blacked out, and they say they take you through a portal to take you to
Hmm.
the to Santa's workshop, and then you end up at quote unquote Santa's workshop. So that's something that we did. And they remember all that, but they remember like, do you remember Coco at the Grand Canyon? Like
Aw.
we couldn't find her. Like we couldn't find her and she ended up like on a rock on the snow in the
That's so
carrier. And I was
cute.
like, yeah. I was like, she's so naughty. She's the worst. I'm like, we need to go send her back to Santa. We need a better elf.
And here I am. Forget to move the elf, and they're like, "Oh, Elfie didn't move." I'm like, "Oh, I guess he was
No, you know
tired."
what you say? No, you know what you say? Who touched him? That's what you say. Cause I used to do that
Oh,
too. Because if the
okay.
elf doesn't move, you're like, who touched them? Who touched it? That's what you say. Who touched it? One of y'all
I
touched it.
mean,
I didn't touch
may,
him.
yeah.
That's what I. And they're like, I didn't touch him. I didn't touch him. I didn't touch him. I'm like, well, maybe the cat touched him or the dog touched him. Somebody touched
There you
him.
go. So you
I'm
got
like, so
someone to
somebody got to
blame.
figure out how to put the power back in her. And then we
Yeah.
go and sprinkle freaking sprinkles on her glitter, and then she's magically moving the next day.
Oh,
That's the
girl,
thing is like you guys have to get creative with it. Like, don't put that pressure where you're like, oh, I don't know. Just say I don't know who touched it. Like,
okay.
figure
This will
out how.
segue. This will segue into like the magic part of it. Like, so, my kids will ask, like my older one will ask, well, we have our alarm on. So how does Alfie get into our house if he goes to the snow to North Pole every night?
I said she
I'm
knows the
like,
code.
I'm like, oh, well, because he has permission. Because I don't want them thinking anything can come into our house. Because I always say, hey, the alarm's on, so you're safe. Don't worry, right? Like everything's good.
I tell my kids that she knows the code, that Santa and Coco know the code to the house. I
I'm
said
like,
they
you
have
have
a secret
permission.
code.
Oh my god. Well, you sure are smarter than I am because I'm like,
You gotta be 2 steps ahead.
I know. And like, okay, so you're talking about your older one now knows kind of,
Hmm.
mine is 8 years old, but he's more like a 12-year-old as far as his, you know,
Intelligence.
intellectual capacity is concerned. And he will ask me about the elf and Santa and,
Hmm.
well, how do they get in? Like, is it real or the tooth fairy? And like, I don't want to lie. It's just something I picked up, reading parenting stuff. And I don't want to take the magic away from them either, right? Like,
Yeah.
but I also don't want to say, oh, yeah, it's not true because I don't want to lie to you. So instead, like, I just put it back on them. And it's
Yeah.
something my sister and I were talking about actually last night. And he's like, oh, well, mom, are you the one who moves Alfie? I'm like, well, what do you think? And he'll think about it. He's like, no, I think it's magic. I'm like, yeah, I think so too. And I just leave it at
Hmm.
that, right? Like, so I don't know. So how do you address it with
I
your
do very
your
much the same thing because I honestly believe that these kids are growing up so fast. And I think that they're not allowed to be kids. And so I think that we should
mm,
allow them to be kids because
yeah.
for almost a whole entire year, my oldest, I could tell we were transitioning because she was like, Mom, and she was in 5th grade at the time. So and so told me that, their parents are the elf or their parents are Santa. And I said, Oh, okay. Well, what do you believe?
Yeah, there
I
you
don't
go.
believe that, Mommy. I believe that there's Santa and I believe Coco has magic. Okay,
Yeah, cool.
then that's what we're rolling with. I said, because at the
Yeah,
end of the day, it doesn't matter what other people are telling you. It's what you believe. What do you believe? I said, you can't physically see God, but you believe in him. So there's that
yeah,
part.
yeah,
And she's like, okay. But then finally,
yeah.
sometime this past year, she was like, hey, Mom, the jig is up.
I
I
know,
know
I
you're da
know.
da da da. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But she wasn't mad. She was just like, that's really cool, Mom, that you did that. You are all the things that you
Because
did
she's
that for
she she's
us.
at that level now where she can like actually understand that, like
Mm-hmm.
mentally, she can understand. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
I
because
get
she
it.
was
I
like,
get
you
it.
would put us to bed and then go put it all together. Yes. Why do you
Yeah.
think I was such a hag and telling your asses to get to bed?
Yeah, my son was saying about the tooth fairy. He's like, my friend said that the tooth fairy is not real. Their mom and dad are the tooth fairy. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, well, what do you believe? Same thing. Put it back on them,
Yeah.
right? And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I don't know. And he thought about it for a while. He's like, yeah, I think so. Because I think I saw her one day. Like, I, squinted and I saw
Mm-hmm.
like a flash. I'm like, cool. Yeah, but I'm so okay. Here's
It
another
was you.
example of yeah. Here's another yeah. It was me. Yeah, right. No, but this is just it. So this will tell you what type of mom I am, and I don't give a fuck about anything. I'm just like I don't get him to put his tooth underneath his pillow. I'm like she might not find it. I'm like here's the container, little plastic container. Put your tooth there and put it on the bedside table.
That's good. I should have thought
Yeah.
about that because I can't tell you how many times I had to try to wrestle with a freaking
Oh my
just
gosh,
dead
right?
head, try to find it. And like,
Yes,
of
and
course, like they
imagine.
wouldn't just put it in the corner. They had to put it all the way at the top of the
And
bed.
if it
Like, how
stays there,
annoying.
right? And so put it in a little container. I'm like, and as soon as he fell asleep, instead of waking up in the middle of the night, I just took the $5 bill and just took the container or put the container in the drawer and put the $5 on top.
That's so smart. That's so, so smart.
But
But
this goes
here's,
to show you, right? Like you don't have to do it in any one way.
yeah,
Like do what works within the parameters of your life, what your capacity allows.
yeah. But also too, another thing, because you said that so and so was telling your son that his parents
Yeah,
are the tooth fairy. Okay, so be it. But here's the thing, right? Why your kid got to be that kid? Okay,
I
this is
know.
what bothers me. So if you don't believe in it, or your home is very, like, I guess, literal and very transparent, so be it. To each their own. But you should
Mhm.
also have that conversation with your children where you're like, hey, if they're old enough, of course, right? Be like, hey, like this is what we believe in our house. This is how we operate in our house, but you got to allow other kids to do what they do in their homes. Like just have that mutual respect, because there's kids
Yeah.
that come to school who purposely want to be a jerk about it. And I
Yeah.
have a problem with that, because I'm just like, again, it's that innocence. Like, allow the kids to be kids. Because again, these kids are growing up way too fast and I can't handle it. Like, some of these
Mm-hmm.
kids operating real fast and loose. And I'm just like, my heart can't take it, because I'm looking at my kid like, I'm always doing a temperature check, like, yo, like, this is
Yeah.
what I'm seeing. Is this going down with you? And she's like, no. Like the whole boy situation. I'm like, are we into boys yet? And she's like, ew. And I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Thank God.
You remind both of them, Carmie, both of them, the like turning 5 and 9 now, in February here, but they're like, a song will come on the radio and they're like, change it to girl. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what's wrong? Like
when
Golden, for example.
that transitions though, you're gonna be like, God, bring that time back.
I know, right? Like Golden, I'm like, I want to listen to this is Mama song. They're like, no, and they're like with their hands on their
You
ears. They're like,
said Golden. They want
I
to
know.
listen to, what is it, the Saja Boy songs, not the Huntrick
Yeah,
songs.
yes. No female singers allowed. No pink. I don't know when pink and purple, like, and they know, I'm like, well, those are girl colors. Like, yeah, but girls always wear them. I'm like, cool. Yeah, girls might tend to wear pink and
But,
purple more.
but
And
guys
boys
can
wear,
too.
yeah, right. And so my son, he'll wear pink. He has no problem. He just got a messy jersey from Walmart. It was like $15. So anyone who wants, like, they have some good stuff there. Like, this is a
Hey, don't
soccer
sleep on
jersey.
Walmart.
I know, official, but it's mostly pink and black. And I thought he brought it up to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is that for me? I think it's a bit small. He's like, no, mom, this is for me. It's messy. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, I don't care if it's pink. I love it. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, you rock that.
Was
And
it
he
in
did the next
October?
day.
Because it must have been for breast cancer awareness. Because usually
I,
the jerseys come out
yeah,
as pink for that.
yeah. Well, we just got it a couple of weeks ago, so it might have been,
Oh,
but
okay,
no,
just
he does. I
something.
think they do wear pink, or maybe it is. I don't know, but yeah, like he's cool with that.
I mean, if girls could be into boy colors and neutral colors, why can't, or if girls could be into like boy colors and neutral colors, how come it can't be, the same, the opposite?
Exactly, right?
It is what
But
it
they
is. They
just
don't have to have a
naturally
stigma around it.
gravitate. Yeah, and they naturally gravitate towards whatever. And my son, my younger one, he goes to preschool. It's at a church, and it's so cute because we're not really religious, right? But
Mm-hmm.
like what I grew up with was Sikh, right? My parents are
Mm-hmm.
Sikh, and but I'm not. We're not religious. We don't go to the temple, do any of that. And he is at the church, and he's learning about Jesus and Christmas and all of that. And it does not phase me. I don't care, right? Like, he
Yeah.
came home. He's like, we painted a baby, and it was wrapped. I'm like, cool. Because his name was Jesus. I'm like, cool. I'm like, good. Like, you're learning about Christmas, right? From
Yeah.
a religious viewpoint, and I'm cool with that. I don't care, right?
Well, because it doesn't threaten you. It shouldn't.
No,
It shouldn't make you
no.
feel threatened.
But
I
this
think
is
that's
progress,
probably
people. We
yes.
don't care what people think or what, like anything. It's just like, cool. We're
But
chill.
it's
We're
because you're
chill, right,
allowing your
Kirby?
kid to, yes, you're allowing your kid to like learn about different things. And I think
Yep.
that if people were more open, we'd have less issues in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
just my 2 cents on that.
Okay. I wanted to circle back actually to the more. When is more enough? And that whole experience versus gifts and stuff. So yes, my kids do get a lot of Lego, but I find
You don't
there's
say.
value in Lego. I know, because they reuse it a lot. You guys see me on my stories. I'm constantly breaking sets. Like, anyways, that's cool. So they do get Lego, but as for everything else, like for Christmas, the last few years, they get one present from Santa and one present from parents. That's it, mom and dad. That's all they get, and they know that, and they're used to it. And actually, going back to what you said about like that girl in the back, both my sons can list off what they got what year for Christmas
Oh,
because they only ever got two things,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Hmm.
And sometimes if we were back home, they got a few extra things from family and whatnot. it's still too much for me. Like, I just think, we know with kids, they play with it one day, it's in the garbage, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
it's never to be seen again until you're ready to donate. Then it's like, oh no, there
And
it is.
you're like, you haven't even brought this out since the day after Christmas,
I
and
know. And
and it's October of the following year.
year, right? And so this year we're going back to BC, like going back home. We actually are going for Christmas, and I texted my fam group, WhatsApp group, family and stuff, and I just left a message and said, "Hey guys, like this Christmas, like we really want our kids to learn the meaning of holidays and spending time with people and sharing experiences with all of you and just having fun, laughter, all of that. And we kindly request, no gifts. We're not going to be doing any gifts. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
don't buy my kids gifts. Like, I don't want to spend $50 on junk for each child, and you do the same for me,
Mm-hmm.
only for it all to be garbage." And the response was overwhelmingly positive. They're like, "Yeah, cool, we're with it, we're with it." And if the response was no, we're going to do it anyways, then the expectation isn't there on me
Yeah.
to get your child a gift. But what I was going to say instead was, if I did, get back like, "Hey, no, we're going to do it," I was just going to say, then donate to charity instead,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
donate to charity instead, because I'd rather that than them have more. And we've done that for his birthdays too in the past, where we're like, "Here's a charity, no gifts." Because usually in the Indian culture, when we say no gifts, it means cash only.
Oh.
Seriously, like on wedding cards or birthday invites, wedding invites, whatever it may be, showers, it'll say no gifts, please. But the insinuation is cash only,
Cash. Got it. Okay. Okay.
right? And so instead of saying
That's
no
interesting.
gifts, we just say, "Hey, like charity, please donate to this charity or donate to a
Okay.
charity of your choice." And so that's how we're choosing to move forward now. And I think it's going to teach them something more meaningful, and that,
Mm-hmm.
like, this is just all stuff. And I remember a coworker of mine, what he would do with his kids, and I love this, is that they would ask for cash, but for donations, for like gifts for birthdays and stuff. And then they would take that money and go to the food bank,
Oh.
donate the
Okay.
money, and then take a picture of that and then send it as a thank you for everyone that attended and contributed. And I think that's amazing, and that stuck with me. It's always been with me, right?
Yeah.
I get it. We want our kids to, have everything, have things that we didn't have, but we're not doing them any favors.
No, because you're also taking away the meaning of the holidays, right? It's supposed to be those memories, the time spent, and it's supposed to be about receiving instead
Love.
of, or I'm sorry, instead of the season of
Yeah.
giving instead of receiving.
Giving.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so very much like in our home, like I'll admit it, I was guilty of being up above and beyond, like
Oh,
way
same
over the
here.
top
I've been
when the
there.
kids were
Totally.
little.
Yep.
Because it's
Yep.
like, and when I go and I think about it, like it's a little ridiculous because they were small, like they couldn't even open up their damn presents, but here we are with all these damn
I know.
presents, right? But we have done better about scaling back over the years, including this year where I told the girls, like, tell me one thing that you absolutely want from mom and dad, one thing
Mm-hmm.
that you absolutely want from Santa,
Santa. Yeah.
Santa, and whatever else you want, because usually they get a present from my parents, my
Yep.
in-laws, and then their godmother. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, you take that up with them, right? And they're really good about like having like a cap, like they're not asking for
Yeah.
ridiculous things, and that's how we've pretty much handled it. But I also do, we've started doing cash over the years to the girls,
Yeah. Yeah.
because my girls understand the value of money. They like to have the money, because here's the thing: when the kids, because my kids will make the Christmas list, they'll go through the Amazon book and the Target book and they'll
Yeah.
look at it. But
That's
it's
so
really
fun.
like, what I've noticed is that they were just picking things to pick things,
Yeah.
not things that they absolutely wanted, right? And so I started setting a precedence where it's like, pick the one thing and then the one thing from each of the people. And then I was just giving them cash because now they have the money in the event that something comes up that they see. Now they have the cash and it's something that they really want and it's being
Yes.
spent on something that's important to them in that moment versus being
Yes.
forced, almost forced to pick something because you're like, oh, well, it's Christmas. I'm just going to get all this shit and let me just pick everything under the sun. No, kind of takes like the love and value out of it, which is probably why a lot of kids will play with it on Christmas and then it goes
And that's
to
it.
whatever hidden drawer or chest because they were like, oh, I just picked it because I decided to pick
Hmm.
it, not because it's something I absolutely wanted. And so that's
Hmm.
something that we do in our home because my kids
Yeah.
know my kids like that cash money. They
Oh,
like
mom
seeing it in
too.
their piggy banks. And then like they be
Girl.
asking me like, "Mom, you have a bank account for us? How much is in the bank
Yep.
account? None of your damn business."
None. No, just kidding. Yeah, my son too. Like my, they're both sets of grandparents. Just give them cash, and like they pay them heavily. Like it's nice. They
Well,
make a lot.
yeah,
They make a lot of money, right? They're grandkids, right? And so it's cool. So this year, I'm
that's
like, you're
typical
gonna
in the
get.
Brown families, though.
It is.
You're like,
It is.
oh, you're like looking at the envelope, like, wait, what?
I
Shit, there's more
saw.
coming out.
I saw a meme, and it was like those days where grandma would like take the money, like a $20 bill or $50 bill, roll it up and sneak it to you in your hand, like
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Because
My
that's
mom
common
still
that's
does
common with,
that.
yeah, that's common with Filipino families too though. I'm sure
Yeah,
it
it
sounds like with you guys.
is.
Like you just go like even at family parties, right? Or like
Yes,
somebody comes down to visit. Like they're handing my kids
yes.
like
For the
20 or
first
fifty
time, they'll
dollar
give them
bills.
money. Yes,
Yeah. No, but like
yes,
every single time I'm like,
yeah,
stop. I'm like, I
yes,
appreciate it, but stop. And they're like,
yeah,
no, we
yeah,
want to. I'm like, I
yeah,
understand you want to, but good Lord, I don't want my kids to get accustomed to every time they see your face, they're
yeah.
like, I mean,
I
they're not putting their
know.
hands out, but still, I'm just like,
My mom's like, it's
I'm,
okay. You should get something. The kids should get something. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, they don't. And she still, even I'm almost 45, and she still does that to me. I'm like, stop.
yeah.
Like, I don't need your money. Yeah, I mean, not that I don't need it, but I don't need
I'm,
it.
I'm all shit. I'll take it.
So yeah, so this year I told them like you're gonna get money from your grandparents, and you can open up your own bank account. Like dude, I already invest money for both their RESPs, every month.
Yeah.
So it's like for the longest time I was like, whatever money you're getting, it's going in that shit, right? Like it's
I mean, that's fair.
wherever it goes, we're putting money aside for their education, right? But now he's
Yeah.
like turning 9. He's like, I want my own bank account. I want to, because right now they have these toy safes, like you can get them where you can't quote unquote break into them, but there's a little button at the bottom, right?
Yes.
But and so they have both of them have their safes, and they like put their money in there, their favorite chocolate candy from Halloween, to keep it separate from each other. And but yeah, like my son has like a wad of cash he collected at the wedding we were in August. Like so
Mm-hmm.
people will throw like $1 American bills,
Mm-hmm.
and then the kids like run around on the dance floor collecting. And like he walked out of that party that night with I think it was 180 American dollar bills
Dang.
and $80 Canadian. So he has that all like in a pile with elastic bands rolled up in his.
Stop it. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I know. And he's like, yeah. So he's like, I want a bank account. I'm like, cool. And so then for Christmas, he's like, I really want a hoverboard, but I want that seat that you can put on it too, right? But that's expensive. So I'm like, well, I don't know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get one. He's like, that's fine. That's fine. Then I'll buy it. And I'm like, well, you always want these things, and then you guys don't play with them. He's like, nope, I'll buy it. I'll buy it out of my pocket. I'm like,
Because
good, you will.
because that means he really
Sure.
wants it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like,
Because even
sure.
my daughter, my oldest, is asking for an e-bike for Christmas,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, that thing's like
Go
eight hundred
ride a damn
dollars.
bike. Just go ride a damn bike.
Well, she has a regular bike, but she wants an e-bike. So
Yeah, like just like him with the hoverboard, right? Like you put the seat on, and then you can go rolling around
well,
like a
we
go
got it for
kart.
her, but we
I
made
know.
the. I mean, she don't know we have it, and it's so funny because my husband ordered it and like he snuck it in, and I one day
Yeah.
was in the garage going, why the hell are the like Halloween inflatables just thrown in a corner? And then I looked and I was like, oh,
Oh,
he's
that's
using it
why.
to hide the bike.
Oh my
And I was like,
gosh, it's so
clever. I
funny.
was like, clever.
Girl,
That's good.
it is Prime Day today. I got up in the morning. I had everything saved in my cart, and I'm like, purchase, 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 because everything was on sale. So it's cheaper now than it will be on Boxing Day. Like we have Boxing Day here, like the day after
Oh,
Christmas.
okay.
And so I picked up whatever items that we were going to give them for Christmas from Santa
Hmm.
and from ourselves, and purchased them, done. Like I am
Oh yeah,
done.
we done too. We're done.
Yeah, we
Everything's
done.
like Santa's workshop is now become my closet.
So funny.
And I told my oldest, I said, don't you set foot in my closet. I know y'all be in my closet trying to look through my stuff. And
Yes.
she's like, Santa's workshop. I said, yes. I said, keep your
Yes.
sister out of my closet.
Yes. You understand now. So that's your job.
Well,
But
because that's
isn't
where I
it
had
like,
Coco too. I had Coco in my
yeah,
closet.
yes.
That
I don't
mom's
even know where mine
FYI,
is.
hide your elf. Don't hide your elf with your Christmas stuff. Hide your elf
Oh my
somewhere where
gosh,
you
we
can easily
did.
get to it.
I did that. And one year they opened it like, oh, what's Alfie doing here? I'm like, oh,
In
I'm
your
like,
closet?
oh, I guess no, in a box. And I'm like, oh, I guess he never left because he knew he'd have to come back, and we weren't here last year for
Oh no, so
Christmas.
I put her, yeah, I saw you
Oh,
saw her. She's in a Ziploc
yeah.
bag and I tuck her at the top of one of my little shelves, like hidden behind a whole bunch of things because they never gonna be up there.
Yeah, yeah. But like, okay, let's go back to like how freeing is it that, where I don't have to now get gifts for like 8 different kids. I know they love it, whatever, but like I don't need to go out, figure out what gifts I'm gonna get, or even like Amazon, whatever. It still takes
Mm-hmm.
time,
Mm-hmm.
money, all of that. And you're just doing you, and you're just keeping it like small and keeping it what's
It's
that word I'm
about
trying?
the time
Yeah.
spent together. And I'm sure that people
Yeah.
really appreciate that because in this economy, I'm sure it took a lot of like ease. Because
I'm sure they
that
feel the
might have
same
been the
way.
difference. Yeah, it might have been the difference
Yeah.
between them showing up and not showing up. Because maybe they were like, oh well, because maybe they'd be ashamed to only give like $10 gift cards out. Which I think, like, you know what? If that's all you can
In the Brown
afford, and
family, you don't
and
do that. The Brown families,
you
you
don't
don't do
give gift
that. The
cards,
well, no, you can give gift cards, but the expectation is still like $50 is the
what's the
minimum.
minimum? That's the minimum.
Yeah, like you're not going to be spending $20. You're going to be
Damn,
spending
that's
like
steep.
40, $50. Yeah. But what can you get now for under $40? I'm talking Canadian here, right? Like that's probably $40 is probably like $27 US. But in our culture, like $20 was the going rate like 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Now that's up to $50. Like if you go to a kid's birthday party, you're giving $50.
Wow.
Yeah,
But
so
that's a
even
lot of
for
pressure for families because, nobody wants to really admit that they're struggling financially. You know what
well,
I
this
mean?
is
So,
just it. And I think, and that's why I'm like, it's so liberating and freeing, even if, you know, the family that I sent all this, even if they could afford it or they couldn't, whatever. Like I know for me, like I don't want to spend $500 on random gifts, and nor do I need $500 worth of random gifts,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And birthdays too. I don't know about you, but there's this narrative that giving gift cards or cash, like, oh, it's, you don't put any meaning into it, and you don't take someone into account, and you're not. It's like, fuck off. Do you want
I am the
something or
queen
not?
of gift cards because I'm all
Yeah.
about like, why am I going to buy you something that like you may not even appreciate? Why don't I give you something to a store that I know you most definitely shop at where you can buy something that you want or need? Because also, too, what again, going back to the economy, what if it makes the difference of you that $50 gift card
Yeah.
that I gave you to Amazon makes a difference between whether or not you can have Amazon fresh groceries delivered that week.
Exactly.
So it's
Yes.
kind of like one of those
Yes.
things where it's like I believe, and this is me in my opinion, that it allows you the freedom to be able to either use it towards something you want or something you need.
Exactly. I remember like my friend's daughter had a baby. We're all friends and stuff, and I just gave her an Amazon gift card because I'm like, you can order diapers, you can do whatever.
Yeah,
Like you have all this stuff. Plus, you know, you you just don't know. Maybe they don't need another sleeper. I'm sure they have enough
yeah,
sleepers, right?
yeah.
But with the money thing, like even now with kids' birthdays, I don't care what my kids get, but I just pop $30 in, 25, $30. That's
Hmm.
what they get. They can either go
Yeah,
buy something for $20, $30, or they can have cash and they can put it towards something that they want, right?
yeah. My kids
Plus,
like
it saves me time. I don't,
trips.
what's that?
My kids like trips. So
Oh,
we actually
trips.
haven't,
There you
yeah,
go.
we haven't done like birthday presents in a few
Yeah.
years. They've always, because
Nice.
both my girls are in February, both of them.
Oh,
So
us. Well, we're the same. Both mine are in
yeah,
February too. It's
yes,
crazy. See, we were
yes,
meant
I
to
know it was
be.
destiny. But so it's probably not going to work out that much anymore just because they're older, and I think my oldest is expressing like she wants to be able to like hang with friends. But in the past few years, it was always been a trip. Like, what do you want to do for
Yeah.
your birthday? Do you want a birthday party or do you want a trip? And they're like,
Yeah.
no, screw a birthday party. So one year we rented a cabin up in Big Bear and we did that for their
Perfect.
birthday, and it was so much fun. I think that might have been 2 years ago. And then another year we did the indoor water park, Great Wolf Lodge. We had fun with
Nice.
that, and they don't stop
Yep.
talking about it.
Yep.
And again, that goes back to the consumerism of like, it's yes, did we spend money? Yeah, but they remember the time spent, and those were core memories
Yes.
for them. So that was more
Yes.
important to me.
Like I haven't gone on vacation in years. Like, okay, going back home for weddings and stuff, and so many things came up in life, but it's been over a decade. And this February, we're gonna take the kids on a vacation, and I'm like, well, this is your birthday gift. You ain't getting no
Yeah,
gifts. This is it. Like, this is for us, the family, for you guys. And yeah, we're not going to do gifts. And we're not going to do a birthday party either. Too bad. So sad. They get it, right?
no,
Like,
not too
you get
bad,
the
too
kids.
sad. It's what it
Yeah,
is.
it's great. Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
also
So,
nice because you don't have to think about a party. You don't have to think
no.
about who do you have to invite. Like, it takes so much
Oh my
like
gosh, Carmi,
pressure off
again,
of it.
going back to the whole pressure thing. I don't even do birthday parties anymore where I have to actually contribute. Like, I know so many people that will, and in our culture, it's a thing too, right? Like, you have a kid's birthday party, whether it's at a location or at home, but you bring food, you provide food not just for the
Yeah,
kids, but the adults and all of that. And it's a lot of work, right? A lot of
yeah,
planning, figuring out shopping, bringing it to the venue, clean up, all of that. And I'm just like, nope, sorry, not feeding
yeah.
the adults. And I do it at venues like an arcade where
Mm-hmm.
the kids pass for playing games and meal is included,
Mm-hmm.
and they go run off and play,
Yep.
and parents want to order food, go ahead, it's on your dime.
Yep.
And that's it. Like, I don't even do decorations anymore. I remember old me would go all out for Halloween and throw these elaborate parties and decorations and all of this stuff, just, and we're talking pre-Instagram, like days, right? But it was all about how would you look, how does it look, external validation, all of
Mm-hmm.
that, and just doing for others. And now it's like, fuck it, I'm not doing that. I don't, even for parties I've had at home for the kids, I just get a backdrop, like something I can tape, and that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like, I don't do big ass fucking balloon arcs. I don't do matching um like elaborate gifts, for kids,
Mm-hmm.
to what are those party gifts. Yeah, like simple cakes, no 10-tier cakes, no, none of that shit. And hey, if you do and you have the means and you have the bandwidth, fuck, more power to you, man.
Yeah. Because we don't.
More power to
But
you,
I
because
did once
we
upon a
don't.
time.
But
I
once
did
upon a
once upon
time
a
we
time because
did.
yeah, because once, but also though too, take in consideration that when I did that, because when my youngest was turning 1, we did a party. It was at the park, so I did all the
Yes.
decorations. I made all the fucking desserts. So
It's so
I'm
fucking
talking,
stressful.
I made all the cake pops like from
Mm.
scratch. I made the caramel apples from scratch. I made the crispy treats from scratch, dipped them all, covered them all, did all the things. The only thing I didn't do was the cakes. I did the dessert table, the candy bar. I did all of that. And it's like
Mm.
I had the bandwidth for it, but also though too, would I have the bandwidth for it today? No, because you know what? It's not on my priority list. My
No.
priority list now is taking care of me, my mental well-being, and also doing the things that I have to do for my wellness. And
Yeah.
that is not it. Me taking time away on the weekends to bake cake pops and not meal prepping. No,
Spend all day cooking for these
no.
dinner parties and stuff. Like, no
Yeah,
thanks, man.
yeah.
I that's one thing. Like, just I was talking to a client, and a year ago, like, she's so type A, and well, categorizes herself, identifies like type A perfectionism, like would make everything from scratch for family dinners, nothing takeout, it had to be precise. And it was exhausting. And a year later, she's like, oh my God, Dal, like, I just fucking catered it. She's like, I would never have done that in the past. Or instead of making like Indian food from scratch, she's like, I just pulled out veggie burgers and buns and fries from the freezer, and that was the fucking meal.
Mm-hmm.
Progress, baby. That's what we
Yes.
call
But that's
progress.
also because of the narrative that she had in her head, where there's that
Yeah.
expectation. Like, God forbid you have a party and you are not the one making everything from the ground up. Like, it's like some people would, like, in your head, you're like, this would be offensive if I have these people over and I had it
It
catered.
is a cultural thing, right?
It
Not
is. It
so,
is.
yes. And it's moving, not only are the modern day times now and what it demands of us, contributing to the shift within the cultures itself, but also our own growth and finally being like, why the fuck am I doing this? Why have I
Yeah.
been doing this? But it's part of the process that you and I always talk about.
Yep.
I know this wasn't going to be about, but it is. It's all
Yeah.
interconnected. It is
It
all
is.
fucking interconnected. And so having worked on ourselves the last year, and you and I both, like having gone through the process, we've been able to find our voice. And what
Mm-hmm.
that voice means is that we're able to stick up for ourselves, we're able to say no, we're able to set boundaries, we're able to
Mm-hmm.
just do so much more for ourselves
Do
that
it
we
for
once
ourselves
didn't.
with
Exactly.
no expectations, not
Yes.
worrying about what others will
Yes.
think.
But this is a part of, but this is, and this is a part of the equation when it
Hmm.
comes to fat loss, getting healthy, whatever, right? Our overall health and wellness, right? All of these components make up a little bit of that equation and
Yeah.
why we're stuck and why we're at where we're at in our lives
Or how
and
you
in this
show up
day and
or don't
age.
show up.
Exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. And it all contributes to it. And so, yes, we all know to a certain extent what to do. And a lot of us may not, right? Because we fall, unfortunately, prey to these, to the diet culture and these diet myths. However, even outside of that, this is the stuff that we're grappling with as mothers. So it's
Hmm.
not just about the holidays, not just about the elf on the fucking shelf, because that takes up a lot of our time and our
Hmm.
bandwidth. But dinners, obligations, families, cultures, multiple variables at play
Hmm.
here. And at some point, can you get to a level where you can say no, you can navigate multiple dinners, different family kind of obligations, expectations without sacrificing your needs? Yes, but that takes time,
And
right?
practice.
And practice.
Hmm. Yeah. And
Yeah.
also
So
understanding where you're at, having the capacity to know where your bandwidth is, what you really can and
mhm.
cannot handle, and be okay with that. Like, if you really can't handle an elf and a kit because that's still too overwhelming for you,
Mhm.
okay. It's
Yeah, it's
okay.
okay. It's okay. Yes, it's okay.
There's
I
no
think
rules that say you have to be the fucking Pinterest mom that's
no.
doing these things that are creating a whole freaking zip line, an elf zip line that probably takes about 20 minutes to set up. Nobody said you have to do that. If your kids just want a damn elf, then get the damn elf and put her in a jar. Move the jar around. Keep it
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
If you
I
it's just
remember.
too much for you, then it's just too much for you. And don't allow
Period.
those feelings of guilt to ruminate inside your body. If it's too daunting, it's just too daunting. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the season you're in. Maybe next season it's not. Try then. There's
And it
no
doesn't.
rules on that.
There isn't, and it's like it's not going to just happen overnight either. Like Carmi and I talking about this with you all. It's not going to like be like tomorrow. Maybe for someone it might. You might wake up tomorrow and be like, "Fuck it, I'm done." Maybe. I would like to think we have that much power
But we
or
don't. We all know
or
we don't.
influence, but we
Because
don't.
this was like 5 years in the making where I'm at peace with this damn
Yes,
elf in my shirt.
and this is just it. Like I know, right? And me wearing a Santa hat. Um, and so, like Carmi and I say, 4 years for me, 5 years for her. I got to that point a year or so, 2 years into my journey, and even now, sometimes I'm like, ah, fuck it, but then I think, oh no, my kids are gonna like it. So, what is the bare minimum I can do
Mhm.
myself that works for me, and I still will show up for them in the way that they want to experience the elf on the shelf.
Yeah.
Cool, compromise, balance, right? That takes time though, right? And
Yeah.
it does not happen overnight. So please give yourself grace, and permission to
Yeah.
go through this process. Give yourself time to work through it all, because again, it is all interconnected, all of it.
Yeah.
You
Because
don't
ultimately
separate it.
my kids are going to remember not the elf antics. They're
Yeah.
going to remember mom was the elf.
Yeah,
Mom
and
was
mom.
the antics. Like mom was the
Yes.
magic. And that's not to
Yes.
like slight the dads. This is not to like discredit the dads. If you're a dad who's doing the elf thing, cool.
Cool.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. But we're just talking from our own experience. Like, I really hope that my kids will look back when I'm in the grave and be like, mom was really cool. Mom was the magic.
You don't have to wait till you're in the grave. They already think that.
Well, because I just think that, like, you know, I don't know, it's so morbid. How did I go so far left with that? But like, when they become moms, if
Yeah.
that's what they want, right? And then now they start setting foot, because it's like they're gonna take the things that I did or that we did, and kind of make a spin on it and do it their own way, right? They're gonna
Girl,
be
I already tell my kids, I'm like, you want to come clean my ass?
right. That's a full circle moment. But like, I want them to think of it like an endearing way, like they're gonna like, oh, my
Yes.
mom used to do this. No, I'm stepping into the role.
I know. They
Like
will. They
that's
will.
really why I do it. I guess it's a little bit of my own selfishness, but
Yeah.
it's literally because I love the feeling my kids get. It's
Yeah.
like that's that act of service for them.
Yeah. And there ain't nothing wrong with that, right? And
No.
that's what this is about. Like, just let's stop if we can and move away from expectations
Yes.
and these obligations or these perceived narratives that we feel like we need to, all buy into and have to do. And you
And your
don't.
kids know when you're forcing happy. They
I
do.
think,
Your kids are
yeah,
intuitive.
yeah,
And
because you're
that's
not
the
showing
other thing
up.
too.
You're not showing
If you're
up. You're
not
not
showing up
present.
authentically present, authentically satisfied or happy, your kids will know. So you've
Yeah.
got to figure out a way to make it work for you to where you can show up authentically you and authentically happy and authentically immersed in that moment and find
Hmm.
joy. If it doesn't bring you joy, it ain't for you.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, like when my first kid was younger and stuff, I definitely correlated that joy to the amount of gifts
The
he
abundance.
received. Yeah, the abundance and quote unquote what he got to open, because like you said, they can't
But
even
that's how
fucking
we're
open it.
programmed.
Exactly, exactly. Yes, I remember someone
And
saying,
now
"Oh
we're
well,
older and wiser.
yeah." Like girl, I don't even wrap shit. Like I put it in the Santa sack.
Well, see, rapping is fun for me. I like the chaos of it. I thrive in the
I
chaos of.
know. I was told like, oh, maybe suggested like maybe you should wrap it because that's the best part, like ripping it open and seeing. And I'm like, oh,
To whom though?
fine.
The best part to whom? Because if that's all your kids know, then so be it. The best part for your kids is waking up and seeing the sack. So for somebody to tell you
Yeah,
that's the best part, like maybe for
maybe
you,
for them,
maybe
right?
for you and for your children, because that's what they're accustomed to. So if my kids only saw a sack, they'd be like, "The fuck is this shit?" Because they're not
Yeah,
accustomed to it.
yeah,
They
yeah.
want to see the things under the tree.
See,
But I
but
also
see
don't
this.
put that shit
Yeah,
under the tree until the night before.
same, and that's another thing. Like I remember the nights, like staying up till God knows what time and wrapping. I'm sure you can do it before, but I remember that's kind of the cycle I was in, and I fucking hated it. I fucking hated staying up late. I already had enough things on my plate, like put up the carrots and cookies. Well, we did that together with the kids, but and then wrapping these gifts and shit. And I was like, I fucking hate this. And then the Santa sack. I saw one of my friends. She made these Santa sacks. I'm like, yep, that's what I'm buying. That's what I'm reusing every year. So it's Santa sacks from now.
But it's within your
I just don't.
parameters and your bandwidth. That's the most important part though. Because
I
you're like,
know.
listen, I'm not gonna sit here and compare myself to Carmi, who fucking has the different wrapping paper from mom and dad and the different wrapping paper from quote unquote
Yes.
Santa, because I'd be
Because
extra
they'll
like
know.
that.
They'll know. They'll make that connection. Then they see it in your closet. Hey, that's the same wrapping paper that
Well,
Santa wrapped
therefore, that's why nothing gets wrapped till the night before,
on.
anyways. But it's like,
Oh
that's
man.
me. That's my
Yes.
personality. That's what works for me. Not because I'm trying to compare, and your Santa sacks work for you. So
Yeah.
respect on that. And you stand on business on that. And that's cool. That's
Yeah.
the theme, is stand on business with what works for you and be okay with that. Because
And I
honestly,
wasn't, yeah.
what people are showing on Instagram is what they want you to like they're curating for you to see that. It's okay. They want you to see that. When I show you my tree and it looks all extra sparkly, yeah, I curated that the fuck out of that for you to see.
Okay, I'll admit that was for me. So my treat, yeah. But see, there you go, right? Like we've talked about this in past episodes with meals and stuff. Like people don't show you when they're eating out or when their day looks like just, I don't know, Church's chicken or whatever chicken you have, Popeye's chicken. I don't, whatever. Like we
Yeah.
we do that, and yeah, like I guess this is Carmi and I. We are real. We are raw. You can't make this shit up. You really can't. This is the shit that we
It'd be
do.
really awkward if we were fake.
Right? Right? And so I know why we love this long form format. And yeah, like this is us. This is how we do shit. This is how we roll. And
We're just
trust
giving
me,
you permission to be you and be okay
be,
with it. Make it look
yeah.
the way you need it to look for you.
But this
Create
is
your
how I
own
was.
fucking traditions.
Yes,
Transitions,
yes, tradition,
traditions.
tradition. But I
I'm a
was
transition tradition.
the, the point is I wasn't like this before.
Yeah.
Before, my confidence and the way I came across was a mask. It was a facade. It was completely fake. I don't know
It
how
was you
many
showing up as you were, as you thought
vocabulary
you
what
had to.
vocabulary I can use
I know.
to emphasize it was not real. This is real. This
Yeah.
is me. This is you. This is how we show up and how we conduct ourselves in our everyday lives now. So I love that we were able to actually record this episode today
Yeah.
because we normally don't record on a Friday. And are we going to release this tonight? I think so. Because
Oh,
it's like,
okay.
right? Why not? I already
Yes.
had another one, but we'll release this tonight because we are going into December, and
Mm-hmm.
for some people like me, Elf comes out at the latest time possible. My sister's like November 17th.
December
I'm like,
1st for us.
fuck that, December 1st.
December
Yeah.
1st. Yeah. She used to come the day after Thanksgiving, and I'm like, fuck, no. Because
That
I got it.
exactly.
My kid starts on December 1st, so that's what she's going to.
There you go.
I don't want to have to think about the other days leading up to December 1st. Because you know
Oh
what?
my god.
She got fairy wings and a skirt. So, I mean, that's
Yes,
as far as
yes.
we get with Coco. And then she got babies.
Yeah, she got babies. Yeah,
She
so
got
do not
babies.
stop. We do not subscribe to the norm.
No.
We do what we want, and that's it.
Because you know
So
what, though, too? Because we've stepped into our own. And like
yes,
we've kind of
yes.
like talked about this, right? Where we realize that we've got this one human experience, and I've said this before. Like, let's make the fucking best of it. Let's
Hmm.
like, is it going to be perfect? No. Are there going to be times where we stress and we feel overwhelmed and we get stuck in the comparison game? Absolutely. That's
Hmm.
normal. That's human. That's a human experience. But at the end of the day, we can take a step back, audit ourselves, and say, whoa, chill. It ain't
Hmm.
that deep. What's really the bigger picture here? What's really the most important thing here? And for me, in the holidays, the most important thing is doing what makes everybody happy.
Yes.
Everybody.
Whether it comes to cooking, what you're cooking, who you're inviting, who you're not inviting, all
Yeah.
of that. And I'll admit, like before because oh wow, we've gone long today. But like even with I'll look at social media and I'll see all of these decorations for like Christmas. And I'm like, cool, ooh, that would be nice, but I fucking know what that entails, and I don't
Yeah.
got an assistant to put shit up for me and take it down.
No.
I got to do all that myself. I hate it. Like I hate it. So I
Yes.
have the bare minimum. But that's not to say that I don't admire the things that I see,
I love
but
that
I
for
also
them, just not for me.
just not for there you go. Yes. And I can see past, okay, what does that entail? Are they actually doing it themselves? Do they have a team? Do they have,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like,
What does their days look like? How much? Because you and I are very
yes.
much the same, but I think that's also growth within ourselves. Where I look at that and does it look cute to have the house that's got the lights that are synchronized to music? Yeah, that's so cute.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
get down with
Exactly.
that, but I don't want it for me because I
Yeah.
know how I'm so OCD with things. It will have to look so perfect, and I will get so lost in the sauce, and then I'll just create overwhelm. For
You just don't
what?
do it.
For
Exactly.
what? It's
For
not that
who?
important. I'll pop my husband probably will be the one to pop up the dang inflatables. And you know what? Inflatables make us happy. That's what I realized. When I realized my baby,
Yes.
my little baby was like, "Mommy, we got Halloween inflatables. Are we getting a turkey inflatable?" I was like, "For what?" Just because it makes us happy. And I was like, "You know what, baby? You right."
Yeah.
Click, order, add to cart, done. So now we got a
Done.
cute little turkey
Turkey.
inflatable on our front yard, and then it'll come down after Thanksgiving, and then up will be the Christmas inflatables. That's
I
enough for
know.
us. It brings us joy and happiness. So
Yeah, my
figure out
kid.
what brings you joy and happiness.
Exactly. My kid was like, "Oh, why do we have lights? Everyone else has lights." I'm like, "We can fucking drive around and look at lights. It's all good." So,
Well, my kids know because my husband doesn't want to get up on a ladder, and
yeah,
I
there you go.
understand. And he
Yeah.
said, "Don't."
So,
And he was like, "No, babe, you're not allowed to get up on
mm-mm,
a ladder either." I said,
no,
"Okay,
no,
okay."
no, you
So
ain't. We ain't having you
we have
fall
the
and
little lights.
have
What
a
is it? The things, the stake lights
the
where
strobe,
the
whatever that
projectors.
is, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
project.
yeah, yeah,
We got
yeah.
that. We've got the cute little inflatables.
Perfect.
My ass almost bought a Stitch one, and I was like, that's a want and not a need."
Yeah, 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 exactly. Oh, all right. Well, with that, we have talked a lot because it's so fun and we just get immersed in the stuff because
Mhm.
we're just so passionate. We want to spread the word.
We're so real and raw with Coco
I
and her
know.
baby elf
And my Santa hat. Too bad you guys can't
and her
see it.
Santa shirt. But really quick before we end this,
Yeah.
I just want to shout out a couple people who are
Mm.
loyal listeners and
Mhm.
friends. Shout out
Yes.
to Mindy. Shout out to Heather. We appreciate you always sharing.
I
And we
know.
appreciate your love and support. It means the world to us. It really does. We're not just saying that to say that. We love you all, honestly. Even if you guys are the only two listeners we have, we appreciate it.
And we met honestly, and we met these two at like the conference that we go to every
Mhm.
year in Vegas,
Mhm.
and I don't know, it's just wild the friendships that we've developed. So
It's crazy.
yeah,
It is. It's weird. It's
grateful.
so weird.
Yes,
Like we don't
yes,
ever see each other but once a year, but like we just keep up in the DMs, and it's like it's magic when we get together.
it is. And even if you live close by, like how often does anyone see anyone nowadays? So whatever. At least we get that
Yeah.
opportunity, and we all stay in an extra day, hopefully, and we'll get to spend a little bit of extra time. And so yeah. Anyways, thank you. That was awesome, Carmi.
Bye.
Bye. Ho ho ho.
Slay, bitch.